All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Sean Kershaw. I'm the Public Works Director for the City of St. Paul. If those of you who followed our pothole event a couple months earlier heard me introduce a street maintenance nursery rhyme built on April showers bring May flowers. January rains bring pothole pains is what I mentioned then. March drizzle makes the hot mix sizzle is our update for this. In all seriousness, filling potholes is one of the most important jobs that the city does, and the work that happens doesn't happen by accident. And so the last thing I want to mention is incredible gratitude to the mayor for her support for Public Works and to the team that does this. That leaders like Jericho Hugger got a new piece of equipment that we put into place this year. Jim Weeks started up the asphalt plant, in my opinion, early, which was fantastic. Bev Farrher's leader, all of our crews that are putting in overtime to get this work done. So with that said, I'm happy to turn this over to Mayor Kali-Her.
Thank you, Sean. And I will just say, too, that thank you to Sean, who is always on top of all of the operations. I don't know anybody more excited about plowing and filling potholes. So thank you, Sean. I'm so excited to be here with all of you because on the campaign trail, what I heard was one of the most important things to people is going back to basics. And that is filling potholes, plowing the snow, and making sure that residents don't have to experience what they would see as an interruption to their day. And so what are we doing? We've done some really great work. In the wintertime, it's hard to fill up potholes because we all know weather contributes to what we can and cannot do. And to have new piece of equipment that was brought in so that we could temporarily fill while we waited for the weather to get warmer. And now to be able to open up our plant, our asphalt plant, which is one of the few that is still owned and operated by a local municipality. And I'm so proud that we are one of the few cities that are able to actually not just do this for ourselves, but for other municipalities who need asphalt. I'm so proud of this team. We have expertise here that you do not see across the state, the ability to open up a plant, to manage that plant, and to ensure that it is in operations, and then the people who operate this so that everyone else can come in and get their asphalt and be able to plow and fill their streets. So I just want to say that when everyone says that other people's streets are so good, it's because of St. Paul. So I want us to remember that St. Paul is the source of why it is that people can get their asphalt and to fill their potholes. And so I'm really excited that for us to kick off this season and to start filling potholes and for everyone to see our operations here. So does anybody have any questions for me? Is there any questions? No? You guys want to go up and see the show over there?
Well, actually, Sean
Yeah.
wants to answer some questions. I have some questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we taking questions? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have opened that up.
No,
for
no,
you.
no. We love questions. We love questions.
Oh, no, you can ask him. Go ahead
Sure.
and ask him.
What are the conditions of the streets right now? What are we looking at?
The conditions, anytime you get rain in the wintertime, and so that rain seeps into the cracks in the asphalt and the cement. When it freezes, it expands, and rain in the wintertime with freeze-thaw is the worst thing for streets that are old like St. Paul. Now, we did great work last year getting the streets ready for the wintertime. The last winter wasn't bad, so that put us in a good place going into the season. We've been filling with a modified hot dish, not hot dish, modified hot mix since January. The mayor mentioned this with our new machine. And so we're ahead of it this year compared to other years with that capacity. But we fill potholes all year long. And we've been putting in overtime since January to keep up with the streets. So compared to the weather we have, I think we're ahead of where we've been in the past.
And can I just add something really quick, Sean? And I think that it's really important for people to remember that there are many ways in which we go out and do this work. So we want people to report when they are seeing potholes because we don't know that they're there unless you let us know. So you can go to our website and report when you have a pothole that needs to be filled, but also that we are being really proactive, that we will be sending crews out and proactively be working in the streets. And so we hope that you are seeing a difference in how we're doing this work. This team is working hard, and like Sean said, they're working overtime. And let's all be good partners together so that we can make sure these potholes get filled.
Yeah, one of the great things about having this asphalt plant is that other people pay us, to purchase asphalt. So It varies from year to year, but what we hope to do, if you look at the plant and if you get a tour of it, this is a plant that needs updating. And so we're looking at prices, we're looking at the literal mix of the asphalt so that we can keep improving that. And that will provide a revenue stream over time that we hope will improve the facilities.
Will there ever be a permanent solution, or is this just something that we deal with every year?
Every northern city with the weather that we have has potholes. It's just a fact of life. One of the things that we're doing, like the mayor said, is getting ahead of that work. The money that is being spent reconstructing our streets also helps to get ahead of the potholes. And so if you look on Grand Avenue and compare the section this year from Fairview to Snelling versus, Lexington to Dale, that reconstructed segment is much better, no potholes, it's in perfect condition. That work we're going to be building up over the next few years, so over time, that also makes the streets better.
And do we have an estimate on the budget costing this year as compared to years past?
Well, I think it's $4 to $5 million a year for the winter maintenance, and we never don't plow because of budget. We're always out there. We plow all the time. We've had only one snow emergency in this calendar year. We've had 4 over the season. And so they're out there, the payoff is worth the overtime in, like the mayor said, making the streets better.
I would just like to add that I think that when people talk about back to basics, I look at back to basics as also looking at our finances. And when we look at the fact that St. Paul has hundreds of millions of dollars, nearly $1 billion of deferred maintenance, it includes buildings and facilities like this. And that when we talk about going to the state and asking for funding and asking for support and bonding dollars, that it is for us to remember that it is facilities like this, that it's facilities that service the rest of the state and other municipalities, and that one municipality is shouldering the cost and the burden of that. That's the city of St. Paul, our capital city. And so, when we think about budgets, when we think about what it takes to run this, it is not just what it takes annually to run this. It is that over time, there's depreciation of equipment, that there is wear and tear in the equipment, there is wear and tear in our buildings, there's technology upgrades, and these are all things that St. Paul needs help with eventually. And so the state, understanding that this is a state asset, that these are the types of assets that we will be looking at, because that is the nuts and bolts of running this city.
Everything. So the asphalt plant that we have, there's been an asphalt facility here for over 100 years. Yeah, this particular operation, the control board is from 1962. So this is before, we went to the moon. Now, it's in those systems, we're able to, the process, we still are able to upgrade based on the other materials that go into the asphalt, the quality of it. But the fundamentals, this building is from 1912. The controls are from the 60s. And so, like the mayor said, this is something that we're working to always improve.
Beth, do you want to contribute?
Do you want to talk about how it works?
I'm Bev Fairher. I'm the operations manager. I'm pleased to be here to help you understand the asphalt plant, because it is a big deal for the city of St. Paul, and we're thrilled that it's helpful to other folks. And what our good folks here do is they take care of this. There's no contractor who can come in and fix this. There's special parts. They have to weld, they have to plumb, they have to do all sorts of stuff, and they know how to do it. They've been taught, they've learned, and they have parts and the intelligence to apply that. To your point about what needs fixing, they have over the years systematically worked on various parts of the asphalt plant, and the drum was replaced 2017, 2016, something like that, because it very much needed it. The ponds were done about 3 years ago, if my memory serves. So they very much focus on the operation of the plant to make sure it's efficient, it's safe, and it's doing the correct environmental safety protections and clearing out the dust and things of that nature. What they haven't done is taking care of themselves in this building, which receives all the receipts and puts out the invoices and holds the folks who operate this. Most importantly, what they haven't been able to do is get that control room at the top of those stairs lowered to make it more efficient, effective, safe, comfortable for our employees. So our strong desire is to remove this horrible building and replace it with a one-story building that can have a control room in the corner that can see and operate and interact with the folks, the trucks that are coming through. And we can also have a drive-up window for those folks who are coming to get asphalt products, so it's more efficient for everybody. So that is I think, a more thorough answer to your question.
How does it describe what asphalt is?
I would quickly use an analogy of our asphalt plant production is equivalent to making a very hot, a bit smelly, but I like the smell, cake. So you have your dry materials, various materials for various different types of cakes. You have your wet materials for various different things you want to accomplish. You take your dry materials, you send it through a system where it shakes it up, sifting flour. It shakes it up, it sends it through a system where it gets heated up to make sure you're getting the dust out, you're getting the moisture out that you do not want in your cake, in this case. You're sending it up to the top of the mill where you actually start mixing it with your selected liquid products that accomplish the type of mix that your purchaser wants. At the very top, it all comes together and it starts mixing in the mixer. It gets loaded into the baking pan in the trucks that come through. Those trucks then go out in the field and do whatever they need to do to place that asphalt and get the density that accomplishes whatever the goal is of that asphalt product for whoever is purchasing it. And that's your finished cake coming out of the oven. Very, very hot cake, a little bit smelly. You don't want to get it on your jeans.
And real quick, if you could give us your name and spell.
Sure. Bev Farraher. It's F as in Friday, A-R-R-A-H-E-R. I'm the operations manager for Public Works. And I'm Beverly if you're angry with me, Bev if you're not.
I will just add really quick that this is the non-exciting things to most people, right? The details of this, because we make many kinds of mix here for many different reasons, that there's not one type of asphalt and people use it for, different purposes. But this is the thing. These are the nuts and bolts. This is the operations of a city that is crucial, because when we don't do this well, everybody notices it. Any city, right? This is an issue across the city because of changing climate and the climate pattern changes. And so, I know this may not be the most interesting to everybody else, but this is interesting to us because it matters that we do this job well and that we have the facilities to do it. So we really appreciate that all of you have taken interest in this and you're here with us to understand more about how this process works. So we're going to go and take a look up there, right? All right. For the asphalt in the state, this is the only facility in the state that's owned by a municipality. Yeah.
Once we notify people, you can drive in, and we have to prove people that they have to be licensed to purchase it from us, but you don't have to make appointments.